talk football and current events. Sitting and chatting with the very best guests. With two Scottish boys and we're loving it. So if you like witty banter, check the former #1 podcast on iTunes. Sitting and chatting.
Hello and welcome back to Sitting and Chatting podcast. I'm Laing, Whyte.
I'm Allan.
I'm Struan.
Struan, thank you for joining us this morning. I should stress morning on this. And Jamie, thank you for being here nice and early as always, mate. Really appreciate it.
Thanks. I make it my life's mission to be very punctual. And
yeah,
I was here approximately an hour ago.
Were you? Yeah, maybe if time zones were working differently, maybe.
No.
That was a good wee soundbite there. You got there of that opening.
Right, but we'll go into that because it's 11:11.
Well, first thing before we continue.
No, we can't. We can't. The match just opened the canteen. It's at 11 a.m. in London.
You know, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Right, okay, we'll move on then. We'll leave it at that. I can't compete with that. I literally can't compete with that.
Now, Struan, not only are you the first guest of the year, 8 months into the year, you are also, though, as well, joining us, because this is technically the first episode we've done since our 5-year anniversary of Sitting and Chatting.
Woo!
Thank you.
God bless.
I'm glad. It's nice when someone else is clapping as opposed to ourselves doing it for once, to be fair. Yeah, 5 years now.
5 years with only 110 episodes.
That's a good ratio, when you, especially when you think about it. 52 of them came last year as well.
That's worrying, that.
Hey, you had some good episodes last year, though.
Thank you, I appreciate
The
that.
Christmas one was good, and the one with Cammy, I enjoyed that.
Who's Cammy?
Cammy, other China boy.
The guy who was just taking the piss out of me for like 40 minutes straight.
Zoom one. It was a good one, to be fair.
I can't remember it. Couldn't have been that good. That's what I'll say. A Zoom one? Was a Zoom one this year?
Oh,
Last year?
Last year, during the 52. Jamie's, he does mints, so 99% of the time.
Joe else's mint Scotch pies.
Is that, are we really going to continue this to me? So, I mean, I'm willing to continue this on. Like, is it the best pie, though?
Yeah.
Because you're...
No, the man's no cultured, you know? He's lived in a box in China for fucking 3 years and he thinks he knows what he's talking about. No.
Steak pies and Scotch pies are the best pies. Then shepherd's pie.
Well,
Macaroni pies are the fucking ball.
What?
Yeah.
Honestly.
I hate cheese, so why do I like a macaroni pie?
I don't care if you hate cheese. This isn't about you. This is about us, right? This is Sitting and Chatting with Liam Whyte and Jamie Allan, right? You're just a here. You're just the third part. Now, as my fellow co-host, right?
Yeah, right.
Fuck all these guest cunts, right? But see,
Yeah, right.
what I'll say to you is, macaroni pie, the Tony macaroni is elite, right? But in general, macaroni pie is quite naff, right? But out of the Tony macaroni, it's unreal.
But you only go to Love It twice a year, though.
Once. You go into somewhere like Stevens or Baines, right? And you get like a haggis steak pie, right?
I guess steak pie sounds good.
Right? Or a black pudding and steak pie. These two are top tier beyond belief. This man's talking about a fucking pasty, white, shitty steak pie out of Greg's. It's minging. Absolutely vile. I win. I top the cake. Look at the size of me. I win. The people know.
Nah, I'm more fat.
Yeah, Struan somehow is. It doesn't make sense, but Struan is more fat.
But the people know.
The people know.
But the people are raw.
The people know.
Long live Greg's.
No, I do have to say I do love a wee Scotch pie. It is. I feel
You're
like
also you're
from
from Aberdeen, so I mean you're also uncultured.
They call it chipper up there. It's awful.
They were kicking about in their fucking baffies, calling it bonk machines. You know what I mean?
Right, that's Fifer behaviour. We're not having
In
that.
the bar. He's a got
The
wed toes.
kingdom of Fife. Shouldn't be part of Scotland.
Aye.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck Fife.
Yeah, fuck Fife.
Well, to be fair, but you can just leave it at that.
That's for the end of the episode.
Honestly, fuck man, fuck Fife. But no, pies. If we're gone, and we're settling it on one pie you can only have for the rest of your days. I'm taking the steak and haggis pie out of Stevens, 1,000,000%.
That does sound very good.
I would have to probably be I was saying pie only, yeah.
Pie
not
only.
bakes.
So no Scotch pies and that shit. Just a pie from A. Baines or A. Stevens or A.
I do fucking
Allan.
love the steak pies from Baines.
We did have that the other day. It was good.
I would
I'd say that. I've not had the steak and haggis, so I can't say what's what. It sounds better.
Yeah,
give
true.
you
Yeah.
that.
I have to
better.
try it. I haven't had the steak and
You've
haggis
missed
yet.
it massively. Honestly. You're,
But we all know the best thing from any bakery is Mr. Blobby.
The Mr. Blobbies are pretty
I
fucking
know, but I can't
elite,
get on board with it. You know.
so-
It feels weird saying it.
You know what? But I need to get Mr. Blobby print out for this.
Well,
One elite man that man is.
yeah.
Right. Now, for those that are watching or maybe confused because we've not obviously discussed your life yet or asked you the standard, you know, what's your first memory, all that. It's because we already done that. Now, granted, it was 4 years ago.
I don't remember what I said.
Well, I did
If it
some
makes you feel
research.
better than you're there.
I mean, you wouldn't have remembered if it was last week.
I
we had them on.
genuinely didn't know if we had you on before. That's the other thing. I feel like we did, but like...
10th of September 2018, the last time you came back from China.
10th of December.
Sorry, 10th of September.
Oh, it's September.
Oh, wait, come on, he's
2018.
dyslexic. Leave it out. Fucking hell. Wait, that was the last time you came back, and that's when we done a podcast.
That was
I was
just
just
after.
For...
It was just after you came back the last time.
How long have you been in China for?
4 years.
Oh, I thought it was 3. Alright, carry on.
No, it has been. You
No.
went away in 2019.
No, I went away in 2018, so I came back in 2019 for like a month or two, but we didn't do a podcast then. So yeah, if it's 2018, it was just before I was going to China.
So how long have you been there? 4 years? Is it 4 years?
4 years,
Definitely.
yeah. And I came back for one summer.
When did you leave
2019.
to go to China? What month though?
Mid-September or something. I think this
So it's
podcast
3 years
was-
and like 6 months. I'm having it.
I was about to say that made no sense to any kid listening. But no, so you've also been away for a long time now. We've now just alluded that you've obviously just came back. You know, you're back in the glory land.
back in the motherland.
Mother.
The last time I was rewatching the old one just to kind of remind myself what you said.
I wasn't.
I can take a guess at what I said as my first memory, but I don't know.
Oh no, I don't care about that stuff. If they want to go back and listen, they can go back and listen. As simple as.
I want to see if you remember though. Personally.
I think it's something to do with a sandpit and playgroup.
Yeah, he was right.
Was it?
Yeah.
Nice.
However, though, if you want to know Struan's earlier life as such, like go back and watch episode 37. It's just the easier way to do it.
Aye,
Don't want
get a fucking grip.
As Jamie said, get a grip. But yeah, no, I want to go over sort of more your recent trip to China as such, which might also be a bit difficult given the last sort of 3 years. There's been a certain event that's come out of China.
The Chinese
Is it?
cough.
The Chinese cough, yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's a good way not to get age restricted as well. So we'll use that as the expression from now on.
China.
My favourite one I heard was the Kung Flu.
I can't title the podcast that. I can't.
It's a wee bit racist to be honest.
Slightly.
I back it though, it's good.
But I want to take your mind back though, to start with at least 2018, or 2019, just before you're about to go back. You've also been over here for a wee while. You'd went to college over here. What was it you done at college over here?
Was it just? I think it was basic biology, but I was meant to then go into biomedical science.
Why was it then, after doing a year of that, you wanted to go back to China then? Did you not?
The Chinese government paid for me.
You mean you're not getting sass over
Now he
here?
was a fucking super agent.
Yeah,
Government pay for me. No bother.
So wait, hold on. So then, were you not eligible for SAS? Then?
I got a bit of SAS, but it would have ended up being actually cheaper going over to China for 4 years than
That's pretty fucking bad. It's cheaper
than
going
doing
out to China.
4 years. 4 years in a Scottish uni, or it would be 3 years if I got my HNC. But no, if I got my HND, it'd be 2 years. Here.
So did you always think then that you were going to go back when you came over the last time then, or did you?
Since I first went in 2015, it's pretty much always wanted to go back and do a degree or live there or something.
Oh yeah, bastard. It's just the same time as a person that worked with my shop. That whole 2015.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Right. Carry on.
Wait, what? You know somebody went on China?
Jamie did used to work with someone in the shop, which I don't know. Judging by what he done there, probably
No,
wasn't
but
right, but
I'll
no,
give, I'll tell you who it is without telling you who it is. She, in the first trip, 2015, pub for you guys. Is that right?
something like that. Yeah.
Was it a trip for like a month? It wasn't like
Yeah.
a year trip.
Was he in the same? Was he in the same?
Oh yeah, okay, right, yeah, I was on the same trip.
Aye. Starts with a K.
Yeah, I know.
Aye, so she used to work with me.
Oh,
We heard Mister. Anyway, carry on.
That was a fun time for you as well, wasn't it?
Aye. Who was it that we were speaking to about it?
Oliver.
Aye,
I'm sure
Oliver.
Oliver might have been one.
Yeah, I think that might or might not have been confirmed on this.
Oliver was on the podcast telling us about it. But yes, makes sense. And he said the name as well, so.
Yeah, I definitely didn't cut that out as well.
Well, she worked on my show. Bye. She doesn't work there anymore.
That's alright, nobody watches us anyway, so.
Aye,
Talking about cheeky cunt. We're Spotify famous.
exactly. Keep track of her.
I bet you I've watched the Cameron one more than anybody else has watched a single one of your podcasts.
No, we've got at least 200 views on a couple of them.
Bet you it's me.
So, listen, if you're just refreshing the page, I'm happy with that. Like,
Aye.
there's a few other of them that you can go back through and just keep refreshing if you don't mind pushing at it.
So since she went in 2015, you always knew you were going back.
Yeah, pretty much. That was all I could really think about was heading back to China. So even when I was at college that 1 year, it was more just something to do in the meantime.
Until you got your placement.
Because I had to apply for a lot of... I had to apply to like the Chinese government and to our uni separately, so it was a lot of paperwork, so it took a lot of time to actually get a result back.
Why did you want to go to China?
I was going to kind of ask this, and this might sound, cheeky considering we live in Struan and there's feck all to do here anyway, but what was the appeal of China more than anything? I know you'd obviously been to visit it for a month prior to it, and you'd obviously lived out there for also a year during that time as well. Was it just because you had friends over there, or because you knew the area you wanted to go back, or was it just because you thought this is the best place to be?
I guess at first it was probably because it was kind of my first experience in a big city. Because,
what are you talking about? That's a
Stirling.
massive city.
So going there, is like fucking skyscrapers everywhere. Just always there's like people moving about and stuff. And I
Go stay in Glasgow. Why
Because
China?
Glasgow fucking sucks. I hate Glasgow. So I know, I hate the people from Glasgow. I guess Glasgow.
Edinburgh. Nah, fuck that. I wouldn't stay in Edinburgh.
Well, I'm running out of cities in Scotland. Either in Scumdee or Aberdeen. I'm not fucking going to Aberdeen.
You go to Inverness. Perth's now a city.
What do you mean now? Is it not always been a city?
Nah, I literally just got made it like a month.
Was it not meant to be? Was it not like the capital of Scotland at one point? You're telling me it wasn't a city.
I think Perth was, yeah.
There wasn't. And then they made it a capital. They made it a city about a month or two ago.
Fair enough. London.
Have you seen the prices in London?
Yeah, he's got a good point. Also, there's Londoners that live there.
Yeah, also it's full of Londoners.
Fair enough.
And the English.
New York.
Honestly, I'd like to visit New York.
Why?
Skyscrapers in big city.
And weed's legal.
And what?
Weed's legal.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is that one of the
correct.
places is?
Yeah.
Aye, whereas in China you'll get shot if you're seen with it, probably.
Yeah, they're not particularly fond of the devil's lettuce.
Right, well, so it was your first experience in a big city
Yeah.
with skyscrapers and everybody's moving.
What else was the
It
appeal?
seemed lively. It seemed like things were going on
Okay.
there. Whereas compared to Stirling, where you...
Correct me if I'm wrong though, right? You had your 9 to 5, you went home, everybody's still moving, but then you still go to your bed at 10, 11, 1, that sort of area. So like nothing changes. Everybody's still moving, but you're still doing the same routine.
No, I know. I went out at night. See, at night time, China just went completely pretty much dead. So I'd have the streets to myself. But there's a lot to explore and stuff like that. I enjoyed that. I don't know. I can't really explain 100% why I loved being in China at first.
Can't play Pokemon Go for sure. That was literally
No, that's bad. You can't do that.
It's banned in China.
It's banned in China. You can't play Pokemon Go in China.
So just going to say they can't really walking into the middle of the roads or something getting hit by cars.
Well, they normally do that anyway. I think it's just too much fun for the Chinese government.
It's madness, some of the stuff that's banned in China. To be
That's the sort of thing that like you tell me of all these things like normal things to us over here that are just banned, like things that you've grown up with for like 18 years that would be completely normal for you.
Winnie the
You
Pooh.
think,
Winnie the Pooh's banned.
Yeah, because people kept calling the president, saying the president looked like Winnie the Pooh. He got all pissed off and banned Winnie the Pooh.
that's
He's
a
like
man.
a big man child.
That's a man with an ego flex. I'm just going to ban a cartoon character over here. Fuck
WhatsApp and Facebook and stuff was banned as well, wasn't it? Or was Facebook?
WhatsApp, Facebook, any Google service, or any Meta service. So
No wonder Huawei's the only fucking phones that work out there. There's no other.
Pretty much any one of the hubs is banned. Twitter, Twitch, Discord,
Napalm.
BBC. No.
Yeah, we're going. I know I'm kind of jumping the gun away, but so see, in order to contact Struan, right, their most popular form of like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, this, but the most popular form of communication out there is an app called Wechat.
Mm-hmm.
It's like their form of WhatsApp, right? Now, you know, for any normal social media sort of thing, you create it with like an email and a password. You sign up. That's you. You're settled in, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, not fucking WeChat. You'd think they would want more people to join it, right? Nope. In order to join it, you need someone that's already been a member for over 6 months has to give their permission for you to join it. And because I had it on my old phone, which I couldn't work, WeChat was banned for me. I couldn't like join it again. So I had to buy a new fucking SIM card just to be able to fucking get onto this app, just so I could contact him.
Is it only Chinese numbers that accepts as well, or is it?
No, it's
no,
still
you
UK
can send
numbers.
UK. You used to be able to do emails, but I don't know why they got rid of it. I
Because
think
Chinese
it's easier
government,
for
I
the
guess.
Chinese government to track people by a phone number instead of an email.
10-minute mail, I suppose.
Honestly, outstanding. Like,
Yeah.
truly amazing. I see, like, we obviously get a lot of Chinese folk in, like, well, you'll get it as well, but in our shop, and everyone in them has obviously got WeChat and stuff, but just, it's mad, because, like, they come over, and they'll buy maybe £1,000 phone over here for, like, next door, come in next door and ask you to set up, like, WhatsApp, Facebook, and all that shit.
And you're selling
it's
that
like
for free.
fucking pure freedom, man. It's unreal. It's like the sense of yes, I can get my fucking Twitter back. Well, they'll never have had it, but you know what I mean. It's just so mad.
they get well. From their point of view, then I can see why they would come over here. Because even fair enough, you're in a small, tiny city, but it feels like you'd have a lot more freedom compared to you that lives in a big city, but you'd have no freedom.
I don't know if it's necessarily the freedom thing they come along here for, but it's certainly while they're here something that they definitely want to take advantage of.
You would though if you've been like say if you're over here for uni.
Easy.
First thing you do, go with Greg's. Scotch fan.
and then look at the porn on your phone.
Aye. Pie in that hand fucking call another. 100%.
Right, well, we'll come back to your China escapades in a wee bit, but I think it's time to do the wall. Now, if you're listening on Spotify and you can't see, get
it
onto
up,
YouTube. But yeah, nah, so we've got the quality shite wall. Basically, we'll pick out 5 random topics, and then we all have to decide if they're quality or shite. Further down in shite they are, we think the more shit. Further up in quality are, the better we think it is.
As I guess you actually don't get an opinion.
I was going to break this to them later, but yeah, no, it's kind of, you can put in your input. We won't listen to it though unless we agree with you.
Aye.
But I'll give you the
If we're
privilege.
50-50 right in the middle, we might give you the option. But if one doesn't agree with it, then you might not actually.
I'll
make a
let you
difference.
pick the first one though, so random draw.
Can I, at a point, can I ask questions about some of them? 'Cause
You can ask now before you start.
what the hell is that? Is that mosques or something?
What?
That's
That's weddings.
Oh yeah, weddings do fucking suck actually.
There you go.
Quad bike.
Quad bikes. Venues, I've never been on a quad bike before.
No, but why is that printed in fucking A4 sheets?
Yeah,
of paper?
right, okay, I knew this was going to fucking happen again, alright?
Do you know what the fucking space for that?
Right, let's go back to this, okay? So, you know.
Let's just answer my question. Do you feel like a Mongo?
No.
Okay.
Fuck you for making me spend money on this printer shit. Anyway, Quad bikes.
Your picture.
Aye, well, we're going to need to fold it up into fucking 3 bits because fucking, you know what I mean? It's just going to cover everything. Unreal. Quad bikes, discuss. On you go.
I've only driven them once or twice, but they are fucking fun as
They are
fuck
very
to just bomb around in a field on. You know,
We did one at
don't
Lewis's.
fucking actually fold it up. We'll just
Aye, naturally like that. Because look, you can still see what it is.
no, we'll just fucking stick it over.
So
something.
what if it covers, like, what if it covers,
We've got a space.
what if it covers the Queen?
Good.
Good.
I'll not be back if it covers the Queen.
Anyway. But yeah, no, quad bikes are pretty good fun. Like, you can just bomb around a field, 4-wheel drive, get like 40 mile an hour, just bumping up and down.
And you feel like a
Pretty
right
much.
hillbilly.
Yeah, you do. But in the good way, you don't have to sleep with your sister or
Right,
anything.
None of the inbred bits.
Yeah, but I'm
I've been on a quad bike, no on the inbred part, but I have.
I'm glad.
I have been on a quad bike, aye. And they are very good fun.
It's also a bit of a rare experience. You don't do
They're
it
annoyingly
often.
loud.
They are annoyingly loud.
When I
yeah,
stayed at
that's
my
the one
mum's,
bad thing.
Stephen Covier, obviously, his farm's right next door to my house, and they use quad bikes to gather the sheep and shit, and they're loud as
Ladies
fuck.
for it.
I swear there was times he used to come to primary school on a quad bike. Or his parents would be on a quad bike with him in the back or something.
It's
well,
fine,
that-
it's
is
tiny
that-
anyway. You can just put them in, like, they usually come with like a box on the back. You can stick them in that.
I feel like they're pretty futile, but they are fun.
Yeah, I'd put them reasonably high, to be honest, because, you know, there's nothing that can go wrong for one of us riding them, because we don't have to maintain them or own them or anything.
No, but you could also fall off and break your arm. So
Yeah, but you can
can't
do
say-
that.
on a bike or a skateboard.
Granted, but he
or a
says
horse.
there's nothing that can go wrong. I've
Ah,
just given
fair.
you one. Therefore, I think they're shite. I'm not joking, but
That's just
Um,
immediately.
You could also see Liam fall off and break his arm. And for us, that'd be pretty funny.
that's you make a fair point.
just puts it all the way up to the top.
Right, so we're saying it's better than McDonald's.
Yeah, probably just.
Do you agree with that?
Better than McDonald's.
No, but right
I'd
here.
say
Here's
it's
the
better
thing.
than
Here's the
McDonald's.
thing that we're not meant to take other things
We're not
on this
meant to,
board
but
into
who really wants to
consideration.
listen to Liam?
Ah, true.
So,
I wouldn't say they're better than McDonald's.
would you rather go on an experience and do an escape room or go on a quad bike?
I'd probably rather go on a quad bike than a skate room.
That's
to be
fair.
honest.
So then we're talking kind of right here. So
Fair.
that covers everything else.
What the hell's Five Guys, by the way?
It's a restaurant.
Oh.
Wow, you have been away for a long time
Never
if you've
had
not heard of Five Guys.
What's Five Guys? Well, see, it's like you ever seen that one with the blonde girl and then like the
Oh, alright,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Aye.
okay. Yeah.
I know it should be a lot
And then
higher.
they eat
but-
some burgers around it afterwards.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jabba.
Do you mind that video though?
Yeah.
What a fucking video, honestly. Great video.
Oh yes.
Oh, Tintin.
I feel like this is truly on news. I've never seen that.
You've never.
It's possibly the
Did
best
you
show
not
of all
watch
time.
any in French in high school?
Do I look like the kind of guy that went and sat in French classes?
No, but
Well,
S1, S2 you had to.
Do you care to remind this person who I was at school?
Right,
We had
no,
Mr. McAdam, is that right?
Oh, Mr. Guy, he was a twat.
worse than Miss Muir, though, or Mrs. Muir, or whatever.
Mrs. Muir was also a twat.
Just
I
saying,
think
one
all
of
the
the teachers
French
French
teachers-
is a gimp. But anyway, back to Tintin. What a show, by the way. Basically, it's about this boy who travels around the world solving mysteries. Most of them involve, like, some cunt's murdered someone and he has to solve it. For some reason, they always rely on a 14-year-old to solve it. But
Is he
anyway.
actually 14?
Yeah,
he
it says
looks
he's
really
14.
young.
He just drives as well. He just shoots things as well. It's pretty
He
cool.
hangs out with a captain called Captain Haddock, who's a
Yeah.
paedophile.
Well, he's not actually a
He
paedophile.
hangs around with a 14-year-old boy and a dog all the time. I'm pretty convinced the man is a paedophile.
Probably, and he does drink all the
He's
time.
drunk all the time as well.
He probably doesn't know he's 14 then. That's his
Oh,
excuse.
that's a great in court.
Oh.
Sorry, I did not know he was 14.
I'm leaning more in the shite part.
Nah,
because,
nah.
this
Also, best dog in any sort
Oh,
of
fuck.
media.
10 out of 10 dog.
Snowy the dog. Best dog in
This
any
is on news because I've never seen it.
Oh, we're putting it right up to the top. Like, no, I'm being serious. It's going right
I'm
up the
actually
top.
surprised Tintin won.
Not saying like the
already.
best ever, but it's going like right
I
up
can't
those.
be on board with that.
I'm sorry, but I have to be.
A baguette munching ginger boy with his dog.
He's Belgian.
Yeah, he's better.
You usually said French, I'm sticking with that.
Is it? Oh, right,
No, he said we
right.
watched it in French.
Oh, yeah, we watched it, right?
Therefore, French. So, is associated with Mr. McAdam, and it's not going at the top of that fucking list, I will happily partake in leaving it under Shrek.
It's better than Disney. Don't
Okay, put it at least on par with Disney.
insult to
You have got to be joking.
No,
Disney is the worst. I probably hate Disney more than I hate.
This is
cheese.
coming from somebody that said DC was better than Marvel.
It is better.
I, as an avid Marvel watcher these days,
I know that's simple.
all I'm saying to you is, you're full of shit. So, like I said, your opinion makes absolutely zero difference. It can go here, or it can go here.
Yeah, fuck Disney. Fuck Disney.
Yeah.
It's gone here now.
Yes.
Can we fucking fold this?
No,
This
just
is-
let it cover up Disney.
No,
so
let
no
it
one
cover
has
up
to
pies.
see.
There we go.
No!
There we go. Cover up the pie. Lovely.
Lovely
Oh,
stuff.
fucking
Big
awful.
respect to Tintin.
Tintin is great.
I can't believe you printed all these in fucking 5 fucking pages worth of
He
fucking...
disappeared for hours trying to find a face to print these.
Aye, no.
I'm dedicated to this podcast. I'm like someone that turns up an hour late. Formula
An hour
One.
early. You came an hour early.
Exactly, it's fucking foolish. Probably, well, this is top tier.
This has had a renaissance for me recently. I watched it like a lot as a kid, and I stopped watching it for a long period of time. But now got back on the hype again, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it when I'm not being forced to work when it's on.
Why did you stop watching it?
Honestly, I got bored of seeing. Well, I started watching. I think the first season I watched was Hamilton's debut season. Got really into it with him, like as the up and coming driver, and then it became
I know you hate
Vettel. Nah, I actually don't. I actually still quite like him, but Vettel then began to win it all constantly. Got a bit bored of that. Came back to it for a wee bit, and it was just Hamilton winning every race, and I was kind of like, a bit bored. And now it's just going to be Verstappen doing the same, so very soon I'm probably going to be bored of it.
Well,
But,
to be fair, Carlos Sainz is
oh, what a man.
aye,
What a man.
he's having a good wee run it. But aye, like you say, Verstappen's probably going to win this year.
Oh,
He
it's
got
all
lucky.
but confirmed now.
He should never have won last year.
Mm.
The race was very...
Right.
The last day was not acceptable, quite frankly. But aye, Verstappen won last year. Probably, well, he's going to win this year.
There's not a Chinese Grand Prix, is there? Where's the
There was
closest
a
one?
Chinese guy crashed in one of the other
Yeah, should.
No,
Yeah,
no,
there's,
they don't have a
Josh.
track.
Yeah.
They can't, it's fucking banned. Everything's banned.
Yeah,
over
everything-
it.
All the fun things are banned.
So, for me, this is top tier though.
That's pretty good, yeah. I would put it quite high.
I say it's on par with football.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah,
It's just a class sport. Like, the only thing I will say, like, the only thing that it does have going against it is the fact that normally when someone's dominated, it's like, it's got the Man City effect, basically.
Oh,
Someone just
100%.
dominates it and they dominate it for years and no one can stop it.
100%.
Awful.
Mopeds.
Awful.
Loud, annoying junkies drive them.
I can see, I didn't do this, but I can see the use if you were like 15 or
Retarded.
16 and you needed to get about somewhere. It would have been a good laugh, probably.
It is primarily junkies that use these.
See the amount of Chinese people nearly run me over and then awful.
And do you know what though? See in Jersey, right? I
Mild
would
racism.
see if I was going to live in Jersey though full time, I 100% would have bought something like that though. Just because like the island's only 9 miles long
Get a
and
bike.
there's no parking. What?
A motorbike.
Motorbikes are for big gays, honestly. We're not
I'd
accepting
much rather
them.
have a motorbike than a moped.
Nah. The fact you have to wear all leather, you have to put
don't
on the
have to wear all
helmet.
leather.
You don't have to. There's
Nah,
no law
all
for it.
guns will do it.
But you don't have to.
I think that's what all the guns do anyway, so
Regardless of the bike, you're wearing a helmet.
absolutely not, I'm too cool. No, I'm joking.
But if it was me, I would much, if for something like that, 9 miles, I'd get one of them as well. But I tell you for why, much less in fuel,
Yeah.
much less to maintain.
And you
They
look
also-
like more of a twat.
And they also these ones actually come with storage. Like not much, but you can put like a bag of shopping in it.
Ah, you lift the seat up and dump
Aye,
it.
and then insurance is peanuts.
But you
100%.
look like a twat.
I don't think you. I think it depends where you are. Scotland, yes, but if you're in an island or like China or whatever, where it's
Yeah,
like
if you're in
common,
China, then sure, aye. But you're
like
not in
Sure,
Amsterdam,
got one
something
in
like
China.
that.
My pal gave me one. Left out to rot, never used it once.
Yeah. Wait, what? You're given one of these for free and you never used it.
Aye, to be fair, look at them.
They are
You
ugly. as
need to
fuck.
charge them a lot, by the way. If it's an electric one, you got to charge it constantly.
Oh, is yours an electric one?
fair.
Basically, go out a day and then have to charge it. We couldn't charge it out our dorm. We'd have to go to the other side of campus to charge.
So what did you do when you came back? Did you just leave it
I just
there?
left it.
Did you tell your friend that you've just not used it at all?
I gave it to another person.
Oh, well.
For me, anyway, they're pretty futile. They're pretty ugly, but
They have a mild purpose of use.
they are shite.
They are shite, but they are still. But I wouldn't say like all the way down.
No, I'd maybe say right next. It's probably better than DC. Just be above here.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm on to go with that.
Aye, right.
This is where the rage comes in.
We'll cover that. We'll cover it up a bit as well, because obviously
No one wants to see that shit.
DC's pretty fucking.
Better characters, better villains,
Fucking
better
dead
comics,
cunts.
better games, better everything other than movies. Sure, their movies suck.
No, they didn't just suck. They're fucking shockingly bad.
But fucking everything in Marvel's shocking other than their movies.
Yeah, but again, we only judge off movies because
Because we're normal.
In fact,
people.
Marvel's recent movies have been awful. Everything after Captain Marvel, other than the new Spider-Man, have been awful movies.
not awful.
You know you're talking shit.
I know I'm not talking shit.
I kind of agree. I think after Endgame, a lot of them have been shite. But
Oh wait, shit! I forgot about Endgame. Endgame was good, but everything else after Captain Marvel, awful. Including Captain Marvel.
I mean, you have a point, but once it's been placed on the board screen, this is set there for life.
You
can't
watch the
lose it.
spin-off series as well?
What, the Eternals and stuff?
Aye, they wondered
I've
about
heard it's awful.
Flash. Absolutely Flash. You're not got a clue. That's the problem. Wi-Fi.
Uncultured swine.
Right, let's quickly go over the problems with it. It does sometimes go down. Well, not here, but most places. Speeds can be slow, can be expensive, but everyone needs Wi-Fi. It's just a common. It's
Do
not
you
the
though?
standard of life though.
Do you though?
What you say if you've got unlimited data, just use that instead.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Except according to you, not everyone needs unlimited data.
They don't. They don't. I feel like it's fannies that need unlimited data.
So what are you on, Jamie? What are you on, Jamie?
Do you want to know how much I pay a month for?
Right, that's fine, but what data package are you on?
That I'm unaware of.
Do you want me to?
Lying
I'll show you on.
shit.
I'll show you on the EE app. Thankfully, you told me that before.
What I can
also,
tell you is I pay peanuts per month.
You do, but you're still on unlimited. It's making you, as by your own words, a fanny.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
happily
fine.
be a fanny. I'll happily be a fanny at £17 a month, opposed to
£17.
Yep.
We've got me a better deal for 6 months.
He's got a new phone now. That doesn't get it. You got a phone with that.
Oh, you got a
price.
phone with it. All right, fair.
this Wi-Fi push.
Aye.
It's good, but I mean it's just Wi-Fi, isn't it? Like, it's part of life now.
That's what I mean in those, but most not everyone has unlimited data in their fannies, as you say.
Let's go away. Like
And also, not everyone wants to wreck their phone by
let's
just
go away.
burning data.
Absolute gigafast. And then you're talking sexy shit.
It's pretty fucking good, as you've experienced whilst being here.
Oh,
I
yeah, no,
imagine.
here, that Wi-Fi's great here.
Aye, we flung it up near Burger King when we're talking gigafast.
No.
But if we're talking about copper fucking Wi-Fi, like the old dial-up shit we used to get,
Yeah.
it's funny where it's came from. But
That wasn't a Wi-Fi.
it was Wi-Fi, right?
Because
Wi-Fi.
it's wireless. Dial-up wasn't a wireless.
It's Wi-Fi. It's all Wi-Fi. Right?
You're listening to a technical expert
Don't
here.
listen to
It's all Wi-Fi, right? And so for the Wi-Fi point of view, right,
Okay.
where it came for the dial-up, right?
Okay.
The Wi-Fi, for me, is up here.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like pick and mix kind of area. Happy with.
I'd much rather have a pack of mix.
I'd
Again.
much rather a pick and mix than internet.
Fuck, guy. What this is, I get unlimited data. Because I'm a fanny.
Yeah.
For me, to be fair, I'd happily have a pick and mix over the Wi-Fi. You
Right.
need Wi-Fi to watch the Marvel, right? And we can't know what's
you
the
need-
Marvel.
Wi-Fi for your fucking crappy TikTok.
No, you
Are
don't.
you complaining about Chinese things? That's Chinese.
Unlimited. I never complained once about China. Don't make me out as a racist. Listen to me.
He hates China.
The Tic Tac,
It
right?
was-
The Tic Tac, I watch regular
Tic Tac.
basis. Right, I watch that on a regular basis using my
Because you're a
unlimited
fanny.
Wi-Fi.
Why do you sound like a dad when you're talking about it? The Tic Tac?
Honestly, right. For me, it goes
Fucking
here.
shitty
I'm
Chinese
fine with
apps.
So, Struan, before we finish off the board, is there any others that you're confused about or you wish to complain about?
The TikTok, I honestly want to just tear off and burn up. Awful.
I mean, I've not gone on it, so I can't comment.
How is it an awful? How is it an awful app?
Because it's funded by the Chinese government.
Aye, and good on them.
Alright, you can keep selling data to them all you want.
Aye, I'm fine with that. What have
Also,
you got to do
a
with
really
it?
fucking stupid name in Chinese.
What is it in Chinese?
Douyin.
Douyin. Doesn't sound that bad.
But
Consider everything else.
What are they going to do with my data? Oh, they know I search up Pornhub every so often.
Every so often.
Every week.
I was going to say, I bet it's become a lot less frequent now that Taylor's.
To be fair, I never visit the hubs, but that's neither here nor there. What are they going to do with it? You know, nothing.
Yeah, so
Fair.
what will they do with
Fair.
Jamie's data?
Aye,
Fair.
tell me, Mister, I use a Chinese phone.
I use a VPN of some sort.
Oh, that's fucking poor boy.
Oh, we might get a sponsorship one day. Let's not slag them all
Crap
off.
about VPN.
I love ExpressVPN.
What VPN do you use?
ExpressVPN.
I love ExpressVPN.
Mm.
But yeah, no, that's the end of the quality shout. Well, back to.
Oh, that was a shite part of it.
wow, thank you. I love the arguments
Nah,
it
no,
runs around. It does cause a lot of fucking
I'm
stress.
just annoyed because his opinion wasn't valid. Nobody really gave a shit.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, no one's opinion's valid on this.
Mm.
I could have Will Smith on this podcast and I'd be like, I'm sorry, Will, I don't care what you're saying about this. I like the Bundesliga that's going up there. But no, anyway, back to... Oh, I take it back to obviously like when you were over last time and going away, you'd obviously made your decision, you're going back over. What is it you decided you're going back and do?
You mean like when going back in 2018?
Yeah, when you're heading back over, what was it you were going to study?
I was going to study Japanese, and I did Japanese for a year. But then I basically got the option of, because it was really difficult because the teachers were speaking Chinese and Japanese to teach me Japanese. So I had to always translate everything into 3 different languages. So we had Japanese, the Chinese, and the English.
That sounds horrific.
So I did a year of that, and my exam results weren't the best. So they gave me the option of I switch to Chinese or I lose my scholarship. So
I thought you made the switch yourself.
No,
I didn't
no.
realise so they gave you no other options. It was
I had a
Chinese
gun
or
to my head. It
nothing.
was either I do Chinese or I leave China.
So you done Chinese.
Yeah, so I did Chinese.
But now you
No.
can speak Chinese.
Yeah, well, I could speak Chinese before, but because I'd been back in Scotland for a year, I'd kind of forgot a fair bit of it. So then going straight back into a course with all these Chinese students learning Japanese in Chinese was
Were you
That
the
was smart.
only like white man in the class?
took we had to do English class, which was great. It was the easiest class ever.
It's sitting there they're like yellow.
It took the teacher 6 months to realise that I could speak English.
Where did she think you were from?
I don't know, Russia or something. I spoke English once. Like, your English is pretty good. I'm like,
I
Yeah.
fucking hope. Imagine she went to, your English is pretty
shit.
poor. actually.
You've got crap.
So, what is a Chinese classroom like compared to like a uni class over here? Because obviously, for those that don't know, like a Scottish uni would pretty much be like, you've got 2 different things. You've got, well, 3 I suppose, but the standard 2 are seminars and also labs, I suppose, are the 2 main ones. Seminars are you sit in a big fucking auditorium with a big PowerPoint on while someone talks to you, and a lab is you're normally in a class of 20 people, and then they sort of, it's more group based, you discuss things.
I'd say Chinese uni is a lot more like high school, Scottish high school.
That
It's very
sounds
much a
great.
teacher is just reading from a book kind of thing.
Do you get any students like Jamie in there?
No, I'm one
sometimes,
of a kind. Don't talk shite.
Imagine the Chinese equivalent.
No, it's little Korean guys like Jabba.
In what way?
A little Korean guys. That's it. I did get told when I get my hair cut short that I look like Kim Jong Un.
Well, Liam used to have the Kim Jong cut.
The slick back.
That is class to be fair.
I love it. That's your
Kim
cousin as
Jong-un
well
is
that
pretty
cuts it.
class.
That's pretty fucking offensive because she cuts it as well. For you.
Aye, but I'm following my great leader.
I became pals with a lot of North Koreans.
What's
Surprised allowed out.
What's well, who's the president of China? Is that
Xi Jinping. He's the guy who looks like Winnie the Pooh.
Well, no, I know you said that, but it doesn't make me. I can't picture him.
It's like what. So you're saying it's more like at high school. In what sense is it more like high
It's
school?
the teachers at the front of the class reading out like stuff from a book and getting you to read a little text or something and then answering questions on that text and stuff. It's very teacher involved for every single step. There's very little you do anything on your own kind of thing.
I mean, that's, I suppose, good and bad. I suppose if you're shy, that's probably the best. Or if, like you, if you don't quite understand the language fully, that's probably good. But also in a sense, like, you know, you're just doing nothing then in that sense.
I'd prefer just self-studying though. But I get some people would prefer that kind of method, like the high school method.
Fucking hated self-study with a passion, honestly.
I hate classroom study with a passion. I don't enjoy it.
I suppose though, if you're past that time though going in, that must be hard as well.
I used to have a flask and I just filled it with coffee and put whiskey in it, so I get pissed during class.
Sensible man.
I mean, that's
Solving priorities. So, I mean, we might as well address the elephant in the room then. You obviously go over to China. What was it, 2019 was when you last left Scotland to go over. Which means you probably had about 3 months of normality before something happened in the world.
Before the Chinese cough. The Chinese cough absolutely threw everything into a fucking loop, to be honest. It went from being able to travel pretty much anywhere in China whenever you wanted, coming back to the dorm whenever you wanted, coming back on campus with pals whenever you wanted, to curfew from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. You couldn't leave campus, you couldn't order food, you couldn't have anybody come on campus, you couldn't go to the hospital or anything if you're sick, you couldn't go to dentist if you needed dentist or something like that. Couldn't go to class, were locked up, couldn't go to any kind of shop on campus. There was pretty much no food on campus. You had to live off whatever you basically had left in your room. But for me, it was lucky I had a lot of rice and eggs. So I lived off rice and eggs. And that basically went on for about 2 years. And then the final half year, it changed a bit, but it was still pretty awful.
So, when it first happened though, so like you stay in a city called Tianjin, how far away is that, just roughly, for idea's sake, from Wuhan when it all happened at first?
Good few thousand miles.
Oh wow, as far away as
Wuhan's
that.
kind of maybe like eastern, kind of mid-China. Tianjin's more northern eastern China.
So for us in the UK, we obviously didn't really start hearing about COVID until kind of February, and then we got locked down kind of 3/4 of the way through March in 2020. So when were you locked in from?
Early January, because myself and Cammy were down in a place called Hangzhou, and COVID started when we were there, and we were maybe like half an hour away from Wuhan. So we just got on trains and went back to Tianjin, instantly locked up.
Oh, so you knew this shit was serious when it happened then? Like, you thought you were going to go into a lockdown when that first came
I didn't think
about?
it'd be into as serious a lockdown. I thought the uni might just kind of close its gates for a day or two. I didn't realise it'd be 2.5 years.
Having known what you know now, would you have left if you knew this was going to happen?
Nah, I don't think so.
Really? You would have still stayed through all that?
Yeah.
That's dedication to
I
finish a
managed to
course.
finish my course, so that was good. Like, all the people who came, so there was a group of 7 of us went in 2018. Everybody had already left China or gave up, other than me. So
Last year in standing.
yeah. So, and of all the years that I've done this, only 4 of us have managed to pass it. 1 of them already left China, and 3 of us did it in China. And that's of the last maybe like 6-7 years of people doing this.
Not many then.
No, pretty much nobody. And a lot of them left prior to COVID.
Now, COVID over here was obviously pretty strict at the start. I mean, I'd say for the first 3 to 4 months, pretty strict.
I wouldn't say it was that strict, to be fair.
Well,
I feel like it was stricter than usual walk of life.
that's what I mean by that.
But,
Like, you can still leave the house if you wanted to. That kind
hey,
of
you
thing.
can still get food.
What was your living accommodations like for 2.5 years? Bear in mind.
Well, the first year, I think, I had a roommate, and it's basically like a small hotel room. You kind of go in a little corridor, and then you've just got these 2 beds, and that's it, pretty much. And there was like a wet room in the corridor for shower and toilet and shit. But the lights in the hall didn't work, the lights in the room didn't work, the lights in the toilet didn't work, the toilet broke.
Have you thought about changing the bulbs?
Oh no, I did, and then a month later it broke again. I just gave up. The window didn't work, the bug net didn't work, because Cammy had used it as in wrestling where they smash a chair over the back of somebody's head. We did that to my Irish friend. The door lock didn't work, so anybody could wander in whenever they wanted.
You're living in basically a prison by the sounds of it.
And there was a fly infestation, which was awful.
And you're still saying you wouldn't want to leave, even if making a degree?
Cheap beers and cheap fags.
Oh, there's a benefit to it. How did you get, though, the fags and the beers, especially at the start if everything was locked down?
I was very lucky that I spoke to what we call the Bawans, which are just security guards, for years. So they were on my side. So they'd sometimes let my pal who owns a shop, I'd give him a phone call, and he'd come round and drop off fags or beer.
When you say cheap, how cheap are we talking?
A pack of fags is like £1.
Wow.
But you could get 6-pack of beer for £2.20.
That's cheap.
But it's like big 500ml bottles, not like those tiny old Budweiser bottles.
That's a good thing. So, see, coming back then, because obviously we've, as a nation, just obviously gone through a bit of a price increase and everything. Inflation's gone up like a bastard recently.
Yeah.
What were you most shocked about the price difference compared to China?
Scotch pies. It was awful. Back in my day, they were 75.
What are they now?
£1.50.
To be fair, a full 100% increase in margin, that is pretty shocking over 3 years.
It's heartbreaking.
That's lovely.
Back in the day, you used to go in, £1.50, 2 Scotch pies.
Oh, the glory days. Some might say that's the best era of Scotland.
The economies went to shit when the pie's £1.50.
I love it.
I wouldn't wait
I love it. He's like, don't worry about the price of fuel, don't worry about the price of even alcohol or fags over here. The price of Scotch pies, that's the real concern.
But do you still smoke? Do you smoke on?
Yeah, I still smoke. I'm trying to quit. It's I need to go to. I'm going to the doctors and get like Nicky patches or something.
You not just buy pads out of Tesco and that?
I've heard they're expensive as shit, and the doctor gives it for free.
He comes back over to this country after 3 years, ruins the NHS once more.
Uses our services. Go buy a vape and be done with it.
Yeah, true, actually, you could do that. Easy.
I'd be kind of gay with a vape. Think of all the people we know who use vapes. Lewis Henderson, Francis Walker, Connor Dunbar.
It's made like
Probably Oliver Simpson.
But let me put this to you. You're in that category.
Oof.
Like when I say to Liam, your people, you're in amongst that category.
Your people.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I say you just go, you get a vape that you fill up, no the fucking disposable ones, because then I'd agree, right? But
yeah, well, those big box ones. Put
I
like a fucking like massive like thing on the end. We're just.
Aye, make it look decent, you know.
Get some
That's a
LED
fair
flashing
argument.
lights on it.
Instead of running about with patches on your arm like a fucking 40-year-old diabetic woman. You know what I mean? Like, let's be sensible here. Get yourself a vape and fucking get out of it.
There we go. Good smoking advice from a man to my nods. It's never smoked before as well.
Nope. Taylor did though.
Yeah.
She now no longer smokes.
She does.
No. I got to change the vote.
Is that just because you feel like down there?
No, at some point you're going to have to get rid of the vape.
Aye, but you go down in doses. Millilitres of nicotine.
So what's she on then?
It's on 3 now. You start at 25.
Fucking hell, that's way too.
Do you know what I mean? So you start at 25, so you're all the way down at 3 now.
That's good. How long did that take her?
8 months.
That's pretty decent.
That's for about 4 fags a day. Don't I? 25
4 or 5
millilitres.
fags.
Oh dear.
I was assuming 4. I don't actually know what it was, but let's assume it was 4. I was going, it's probably me, but let's assume it was 6, right? 6 fags a day, down to 25 millilitre, and then all the way down to 3 now, and she's going on to the 1 very soon, so.
What are you at the moment? Fags a day, roughly.
Oh, fags a day.
How much nicotine?
I think it actually says it.
Oh, that's right.
It says in China. No, I think it says here.
Just says smoking doesn't kill about 40 different
I
things.
think it's 10 milligrams for China.
That's probably more over China than over Canada.
I hope you've watched this person.
West, I could get, if I had a pack of fags, it'd go about 2.5 days.
A packet of 20 fags. 2.5 days at a...
That's better than I was expecting.
So shocking that.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, anything's better. It's just fucking all over. My God, man. He goes through like a pack of 20 in about a day.
I wake up after eating it, but yes, I didn't have too many fags, but look, this morning was absolutely dead.
Why do you do it in a fucking pool?
Because the next
The best it is, you know the worst thing about the whole situation is, you're saying, oh, I need a fag. You smoke roll-ups. It's worse, it's a JK version of fags. It's oh fuck, I'm in a midlife crisis, I can't afford fags. Let me roll it up like a fucking gimp. And you go like that and roll it up and it's
get tobacco stuck in your thumb as well.
and you've got fucking usually filters in it. Oh, wow.
Did your parents ever smoke?
Well, I'm all used to it. My dad never. No, I'm all used to it. But if Mum always to say I'm starting smoking again, the more I do it, may bother, but you're not buying the fucking...
Your face on, they're buying fucking like the proper stuff.
You're going to get cancer.
That's-
Do it every way.
Aye.
At least spend some proper money on it, at least for fuck's sake. What's the price difference between back and fags?
A pack of fags, so I think about 12 quid, 11 quid, 12 quid. A bag of back is about 13, but a bag of back can last you like 4 or 5 days.
So good fags if you just space it out. I normally you're a pound cheaper and you space it out, it's not hard. But, what I will say is, right, mine when they were like $4.75.
Fags?
Aye.
No, because I wasn't buying fags when they're $4.75.
Nah, to be fair though, like when you... Well, actually, you started smoking later than the rest of our friends.
No, but
so
how-
you were...
You're the same age as us though. You don't remember walking in the shop like seeing the fags at like $4.45?
I remember the...
I wasn't going in and buying them.
I remember the 2 for 10, but I don't remember. I remember
2
2
for 10 on
Yeah.
fags?
When my dad used to smoke, he used to.
Aye, 2 packets.
But it was a 10 packet, so he used to get. Never got like a 20.
Aye. It used to be so cheap, and now it's like fucking increased by like 200 fucking
Because they
20%.
tax, all the money goes to like NHS and stuff.
Woo!
Aye, to deal with your fucking
To
consequences.
deal with you and you keel over in a few
To
years.
deal with you, you get your fucking nicotine patches. That is your sister.
See what I mean? This is nothing like him.
That's fucking funny as fuck, man. What fucking genes does she get?
I don't know, my mum looks like a fucking troll.
She honestly looks nothing like any of the family.
Sorry to tell you, you're defo adopted.
No, it's her that's adopted because she looks like none of the family.
I look like more like my uncle than my dad. And
that's not a good sign.
no, even I saw my auntie the other day, and I said to her, my Chinese pal thought that, and my auntie said that when she first met me, she even asked her new boyfriend, my uncle, was like, "You sure Struan's not yours?"
Have you been shagging your sister?
That's honestly funny as fuck that that's your sister and I never knew that.
Fuck, where were we?
Well, we're on
Thanks.
Struan's sister there. But,
Trust me, if you talked to her, you wouldn't be thinking that.
how's she a fucking weapon?
Aye.
And you got that Chinese cough?
Nah, completely struck.
What do we mean she's a weapon? This is part of the podcast. Well, we've carried
Oh,
on.
you can keep this in the podcast.
No, we are. It's carried on. Welcome back. How's she a weapon?
Oh, she's an absolute fucking moron.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, before we obviously talk about the important things about Kung Flu and all that, Jamie, certain shows ended, you know. I need your review one last time, you know.
Excellent finish. That was better than Endgame.
Jamie loves, every time we do a podcast, Jamie's got a Love Island review section. So, Jamie, please summarise what's happened in the last month since we were last on the podcast.
Please, no, don't tell me. I want to watch Will and E's video on it. Do not, no, I don't want to hear this.
Right, detail everything apart from who wins then.
Surely you know who wins.
No, I don't, because Will and E's not done a video on the last one yet.
You don't know who wins when it's or your Facebook or your Twitter.
I don't look at Facebook or Twitter. I don't have a Twitter.
I mean, I know who's won already.
Is it Ek and Sue?
Well, do you want me to tell you or do you know?
Go ahead. Go say it.
Then I second to.
Is it Ek and Sue and Gabriel? Alright.
Gabriel, what did you just say?
I know what his name is.
Davide.
Davide. He's Italian.
So detail us then what in the last month has happened.
Honestly, it's been pretty boring.
You just said it was like Endgame, the finish.
Ek and Sue's great.
Right, no, but all drama happened, right? And then she got lovey-dovey. Then, like, folk like Adam came in, who's been on it before.
They got folk back that have been on the show before.
Just the one person.
No.
He was an arsehole.
Is that the blonde guy?
Nah. The Geordie guy and tattooed and tall.
Oh, I think it's
he came back in.
Right.
He stubbed it up. He made one guy leave. He stole his bird.
He made one guy leave. What? Just alpha male just pushed him out of the villa.
100% aye. To which Jax left. Adam came in, and
Was Jax the one that was going out with Gemma?
no, Jax was the one that used to go out with Gemma.
Ah, right.
So he stood up for a bit, and then it kind of just happened that a couple of wee challenges. They all got lovey-dovey in the rain couples, and then the final appeared before you knew it, and you knew who was going to win. So, aye.
Did the Scottish guy get kicked out?
Ages ago, thankfully. Fucking tricked that bastard. Aye.
He's from Edinburgh, wasn't he?
Aye. Tricked her. Fucking spoke at a fucking game. Hi, girls.
That's exactly how you sounded.
No.
So, don't they do that whole, like, don't they give the option as well? You're telling me last year that split or steal thing.
Nah, they took it away because it was too controversial.
But no one done it, I thought.
Nobody's ever done it, but it's too controversial. They want the show to be finding love opposed to pure drama.
But I thought that's the whole what makes
the
Love
only reason
Island
people
good.
enjoy it is because of the drama.
Aye, but drama always happens regardless of how they try and avoid it. But they took that element away because by the end of the whole experience, the idea is two people had that special connection, as they call it. It's pish. Like, split or steal, if somebody steals, fucking brilliant, and if they don't, then they don't, do you know what I mean? So, Davide and Naked 2-1, they got 25 grand a skill, and that is.
That seems so little for how big the show is now.
They just had a fucking 6-week holiday.
Aye.
All inclusive.
I've always wondered that, actually. How do you sell that to your employer? By the way, I'm fucking off for 6 weeks. You must have to quit. Sure, there's no job in the world that would be like, aye, alright, you can fuck off for 6 weeks.
It's either you... I mean, I don't know how... Like, for example, if it was my good self, right? I'd put in 6 weeks of holidays at the one time.
Do you get 6 weeks? I find it now, we all do.
Aye.
UK, big up.
So...
You'd spend your entire year's holiday in one go to go
Aye,
to
you think when you're coming out of Love Island, Liam, right, that you're going to go back to your 9-to-5? No, you're going
Most
to...
of them will after a year.
Nah, a bunch of
imagine.
them get famous on Instagram.
Aye.
And stuff.
A bunch of them
You
will
start
do, but not
fucking-
everyone will.
Liam, you start punting your arsehole at that point, do you know what I mean? Like,
Don't they get a bunch of brand deals and stuff?
aye, 100%.
I mean, a lot of them will do, surely not
And
all
somebody
of
like
them.
me, I'm going to win that because I'm funny as fuck. So therefore,
You going on that show would be the only reason I would ever watch it.
Munter's Island.
I would... Right, that's nearly for that. I'd 100% win that show. So, I'd be famous forevermore.
Forever.
Aye.
Fucking hell.
I mean, look at Tommy Fury. Kids fell off. Nobody even cares about him anymore. And all he's done is dodge fights.
Yeah,
Drink
true.
it,
It's
drink-
an easy life.
Aye. So, and you know, he's still pumping that fucking squeaky blonde. So like, he's winning. So
Yeah,
aye,
one of life.
that's it, aye.
So, if you had to compare this series to the rest, how good we saying? Top tier, mids, or shite?
No, it's mid creeping at the top. Some of the elements that happened this year were fucking funny as fuck, but nothing will beat the old school Love Islands. Where they were like, round the campfire, smoking fags and getting steaming.
How long
I
before
thought
it's...
they only allowed like one glass of wine or something.
Now they are, aye, but
That's
back-
Get
back
they
then-
used to just get
Watch
pissed.
like the first and second seasons, fucking hilarious, man. Folk got chucked off for racism and all sorts because they were steaming. It was just amazing. It was so funny. So do you remember the 2 years ago? I think it was the guy who got kicked off for cunt punting somebody.
Yeah, I've totally forgotten about that.
I think it was Sharif, his name was, and he punted the bird's puss, obviously, and said, "Sorry, I never meant to cunt punt you," and he got kicked off the show.
That's so, like, it was a joke. Like, didn't even the lassie come out and go, yeah, it was a
joke,
joke. Aye, like, it's fine, sort of thing. But he got kicked off the show for it.
Again, he's famous.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
How long is it, though, before Love Island turns into, like, X Factor and Big Brother, and, you know, just these shows that nail
I genuinely don't think it will.
You think it never will?
No, I'm not saying it'll never ever be something that's no desired, but it's one of those ones it's not your Big Brother. It's not the same every year. They do change it.
Yeah, but you said openly have changed it for the worse.
Certain elements, aye, but have I just spent the last 6 weeks watching something I didn't enjoy? No. Well, I look forward to the next season. Aye.
Bring back Eccleston. Eccleston's great.
But, you know what I mean? Like, she was telling Davide that she fucking pretty much loved him, and then she was going up and then crawling across the fucking terrace and kissing another guy.
The Scottish guy as well.
Aye, that's pure fucking drama gold, and it's amazing. Did you see some of the lines that he hit away with? He was like, "You're faker than Louis Vuittons from China."
Yeah.
What a fucking line, do you know what I mean?
Right, okay. That
He was
season...
walking about like this, fucking... Like,
He's
Right,
great.
that
Davide.
season,
Davide.
but remove Eccleston and Davide. How low
Shite.
would it be?
Utter they made it, 100%. That's why they deserved to win it, because they made the whole season, what it was.
Yeah.
100%. The rest of it would have been shite. Like that looker that goes out with Jem Owen, that'll never last, because he's a fucking freak. He's a total fucking protective bastard, man. Like, he's a weird guy. And plus, Michael Owen's, I know, let his wee fucking princess get fucking treated wrong, you know.
So he finally came out and said he was proud of her online.
Yeah, he's hardly going to come and go, "I'm not proud of him."
I would, just for the banner. Fuck you, you didn't come first.
You're not
Not
Michael.
accepted back in this household.
She never won it because of Looker, though, 100%. Like, she never won it because they got won it because the guy she was with, because he was a knob.
Do you only ever talk about Jamie's favourite shows, or do you ever talk about your favourite shows?
This is just the one section we have, but moving back to the
This
importance
isn't my
of...
favourite show, let's just get that clear.
Let's go back to the importance of, you know, the actual why we brought you back on here to talk
It
about.
wasn't about Love Island.
I know, I'm shocked as well.
The fact he's seen more of Love Island than you this year is a fucking disgrace.
He watches the same YouTuber as well.
Yeah, I watched
I've never
Will Lee's
watched Love
breakdown of
Island.
it.
I just watched this YouTuber talking
Yeah,
about it.
that's all I've seen of it.
Aye, but Will and he's a fucking stupid Geordie cunt that, you know, did you still watch it with that James?
Yeah.
Aye.
James Marriott.
Aye,
Big
he's,
posh man.
aye, but he's funny. Will and he's no funny, do you know what I mean? Like, he can be, but he's not.
Anyway.
It's unfortunate for Will and he, though, isn't it? He's surrounded by funny people. Stephen Tries, James. Like, they're all funny and he's no.
It's a summary of my life, honestly.
It is, because a couple of funny guys like ourselves, and then there's you.
Yeah.
You know, like, come on, take it back to China then. You know, funny man.
But nah, obviously locked in, trapped up. Because obviously, like, for me at least, hearing stories about it, basically if you were like going to leave the house, people would like be the armed guards would basically be threatening you, that kind of shit.
Well, they
Streets just like, empty, totally. Was it like that?
Ended up, they locked all the gates and they put
I find that mental.
They put barbed wire on top of fences.
You literally lived in a prison for 2 years.
They have these stupid little kind of they're kind of like a smart car but for the police. And they would drive around the campus making sure people weren't trying to climb over the walls.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
stuff.
You literally lived in a
Yeah,
lived in a jail.
Pretty much a jail.
Was it fun though?
When I sat in my room, just got pissed and watched YouTube, yeah, it was alright.
But that's bad there. How did you do that?
Because I still got my diet.
what he brings around YouTube from his wee shop?
VPN.
Shh! Don't say that.
ExpressVPN.
I'll be.
Because you know what's Pornhub with ExpressVPN?
You can.
There you go, ExpressVPN.
You can get on everything.
Making boys spunk all over the world.
And girls, let's not be sexist here. Yeah.
Well, people.
Making people.
Aye.
What a great tagline, honestly. They should use that.
Aye. They, thems, whatever you want to call yourself. They all spunk.
What? So, like, how would you, like, I'm not being funny, but, like, I was pretty much, when I came back from Jersey, I was pretty much locked up for, like, a month, 2 months, and I nearly went fucking insane. I do not understand how you were able to do it for 2 and a bit years. How did you keep yourself sane?
Well, at first, earlier on, we would do those kind of like pub quizzes at the weekend and stuff. So that was always something I really looked forward to. And it pissed off my roommate because he'd go to bed quite early and then I'd be up all night screaming at you guys on Discord.
What was the time difference?
At that time, I think it's 8 hours. And then after...
And we would
8
be
hours in front.
ahead, yeah.
So we would be starting at like 10 at night and he would be joining at like 4 in the morning.
But I got kind of used to just that because then there's also my pal Vishal and we would...
Happy birthday, Vishal, by the way, as we're
It's a
recording
Vish's
this.
birthday.
As I say,
Happy
I know, you don't.
I will put a disclaimer.
No, I already said happy birthday.
I will put a disclaimer out there though, right? This man would not remember if his MacBook didn't sell him.
No, he's got like everybody's birthdays on his phone.
Yeah, no, it's actually because I didn't actually say it, but it was from here. That's how I found out.
Right, see, like, that's shocker.
I'm awful.
Why you got it on low battery mode?
I always have a low
That's
battery mode.
fucking creepy, man.
What is wrong with low battery mode?
I like to save the battery. What's wrong with that?
Such a pedo, man.
What? Why? What's wrong with low power?
You put it on at 20%.
Nah, you just whack it on every
If you
time.
just
No
leave
chance,
it on the
man.
whole time, you won't hit 20%.
No, that's fucking pedo behaviour if I've ever seen it. That 100% kills your battery. Constantly being on low power mode. That's no good for it.
Okay.
Fucking tech guru.
If you knew anything about phones, I'd take your opinion into this.
I've only worked on them for 7 years, and you're fucking wrong. Get it off.
Nah.
I didn't mind it on a fucking Huawei phone because I mean it's China made, isn't it? It's fucking dodgy as fuck, but unreal.
But so, how would you keep yourself sane through those moments?
Other than the pub quizzes, did you actually have anything else?
Other than the what?
Pub quizzes.
The pub quiz.
Because that was obviously just a start because we
on
couldn't
YouTube thing, and I drank a shit ton. We used to have a thing called Beer Mountain. Literally just a mountain of beer cans in the room.
Honestly, see every time I'd phone him and that, and see if he get out of his bed, you just hear the floor would
all the
move under
cans
his
just start
feet.
falling on you, all the way down.
No, you're a bin now.
There's a point where the bin can't fit all those cans.
No, we used to use the bin until they. Because what we used to have is at the end of the corridor, we'd have 2 big, your normal kind of bin size, right at the end of the corridor. And you just dump stuff in there, and there was these cleaners who'd come around just to mop the floor, and they'd take the bins down the stairs. But then they decided to only have 2 bins for the entire dormitory. So there was only so much anybody could take out each day. Pardon me. If you tried to take out more, then they'd give you into trouble and try to fine you. So
fine you. You're using our bins.
So
Fuck you.
basically just everyone's room started.
So if you did try and leave, is lethal force allowed?
Well, not from the cleaners, but some from the security guards. They even installed this bit down the bottom.
Did anyone get battered?
No. I was probably the worst behaved there. Everyone else kind of behaved, and I never got battered, so I doubt any of them would. But they had those, those things if they're catching a fox or something, or a wolf, and it's like a big kind of Y-shaped stick, like a big stick, like a kind of curved Y-shaped thing. They had them in our dorm to put down on folk in case somebody was trying.
It'd be netted up, and you're.
In case somebody was being a bit rowdy.
So if you attempted to leave, you wouldn't just be fined and said no.
Well, they would kick me out of uni. I never got kicked out of uni, I get kicked out of China.
Sounds a bit serious.
I did manage to sneak out sometimes, thanks to my being friends with the security guards.
It's fucking the what do you call it? The Great Escape.
That's madness, honestly.
Oh,
How
no,
would you
it's
break
insane.
out though without being caught?
Oh no, basically.
Not that we're advising any students in TNG to do
They
this.
absolutely are. Go for it.
Aye, yeah, go nuts. Get out of there.
Wait,
Basically,
what happened? You can come back to Scotland. You know what
Aye, St James.
I mean? Come over and be in the Sitting and Chatting podcast.
That would be class. Imagine we just take on
Imagine you just get a chap at
refugees.
the door. So
I'm here for my interview.
Yeah,
That's fine, Jamie will be here in about 4 hours. Right, let's go.
we had these little cards that we'd have to go up and scan and take our temperature just to leave the campus. But these were basically for teachers and doctorate students because they could come and go as they wished.
Well, even at the height of COVID, they're allowed to.
Yeah, they were allowed to go in and out. But because I was friends with the security guards, I just told them I was going to the shop, which was literally just round the corner from this little security gate. So they'd just be like, I don't skip it.
So that's a good point then. So how long from you getting to your dorm and everything being locked down to what? How long did you have to spend there? What was like the see after everything was then released and you could go a bit further? How long was that period? If you remember?
Until I could officially get out,
Yeah.
2.5 years. I never officially got out.
You never, in that entire
Not
time, you
officially.
technically would have never have been allowed to leave your. What the fuck?
The furthest I could go is this shop that is still on campus, but they basically section campus to outer campus and inner campus.
So is it like over there? It's still bad. They just care a
No,
lot more than we
they're
do.
idiots. I can't say that because I still need to work a year and get my degree, so I can't say what I was going to say. But they've got a very strict anti-COVID policy, so they believe in zero COVID.
Yeah.
But it's idiotic because it's like
Everyone's
zero
got it.
flu, zero cold, zero cancer policy. Like you can't do it. It's going to happen at some point. But they're remaining as strict. They've actually got stricter. See, we didn't do any COVID tests or anything from 2020 to the end of 2021. They only started doing COVID tests and even further lockdowns, where they locked down entire cities in 2022.
Yeah, so I probably don't visit China if you're planning to for a couple of years.
No, it's
Everything's
awful.
banned and you're fucking jail celled. So sounds pish.
But if you go there and they'll put you into quarantine for like a month, but they put you in a really expensive place to stay. It's not a very nice place. It's very expensive. You need to pay for literally everything.
Oh, that's fair enough. Okay, they're going to get the fox catcher out and just lock him in the room.
You don't even get to like order your own food. So you can't even order cheap food or something to your wherever you're staying.
Oh, they bring you.
They
the
bring
food.
you food, but you've got to pay for it. So they get to choose the prices of the food.
Excellent.
Nice.
Did you meet any South Koreans when you were there?
Yeah, 100%.
Were they alright, sound guys?
Right? I nearly started an international incident once, actually. A
Go
South
on.
Korean pal came round, and we're sitting in my room, we're having a few beers and watching
How
something.
did he sneak in again through security
Well,
guards?
no, he was on campus
Ah,
at the
right.
time, so he could wander into my door. And we're having a drink, and we're quite pissed. And there was a North Korean lived above me. And I was like, oh, you ever met a North Korean? He was like, no. So I started running to the door to run upstairs, and he's following me. He's like, no, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, come on, we can meet
As if they see each other explode or something.
we can meet a North Korean. And he was like, no. And I'm like, come on, you never met one. Let's go meet one. So he was like, all right, whatever you do, just don't tell him South Korean. So I knocked on the door. The guy opened the door, and I was like, my South Korean pal wants to meet you. And the North Korean came down, and they sat in a room together. The three of us all sitting there having beers, chatting. It was great. They were asking things about, do you have this, or like they cook food slightly differently because they kind of split off.
Did they speak in Korean?
Yeah, they speak in Korean.
And you understand it?
Can I understand? No, fucking hard.
You're just like,
But they've got like their dialects also kind of split off as well. So they're asking like, oh, what does that word mean and stuff. But then we
is it
got
like
enough-
us with like say like how Aberdonians talk differently to us?
I
in
think
a
it's
sense?
a bit more extreme than that, but yeah, it's the same idea. And then we got a knock at the door, and I went to open the door. It's another one of the North Koreans. I was like, oh, you want to come in? And he pointed at the North Korean in my room and went, he has to come back right now. And yeah, the North Koreans were not happy at me for a while. But I ended up, I left on good
Struan
terms.
started a gang riot as prison.
I left on really good terms with them. There was another time one of the North Koreans came down to my room. He knocked on the door, opened it up, and he was like, "Oh, can you exchange currency?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, because North Koreans are not allowed to exchange currency to dollars. If I brought some money to you, could you exchange it to dollars?"
Wait, why are they not allowed to exchange it?
Because they'd run away.
Ah,
So I think he was trying to get me and aiding him to run away to America.
did you do it for him?
He never came with the money. I was very much up for exchanging it for him, but he just never came back with the money.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because he was shot by the Chinese police on his way to Struan.
They're nuts though, some of the North Koreans. They need to walk around in twos, like constantly. They've got all badges, all the Kims on them.
I was wondering this. I was wondering how they're allowed to study over there. So they're just basically, they're even worse than you. They're watched all the time.
They get kind of like special treatment to an extent, where I think their classes are literally just them in their classes. I don't think they're with any other students. They might be with some Chinese students, but I don't think they go with foreign students.
Is North Korea genuinely that powerful, even in China?
I think it's more just because the Chinese are even slightly scared of the North Koreans nuking them.
Mad fucking situation to be in.
But they have to go around in twos all the time in case one does something that's against the will of Kim, so the other one can report him.
Imagine your best pal in like 3 years, and then just one day you've taken it. You've in a Scottish man's room. You see the opposite Korean. You're just getting home to sentenced to death afterwards.
This isn't racist, but did you ever watch Squid Game together?
No, I've never actually seen Squid Game.
Oh, you're so fucking... That's so uncultured, it's unreal.
So uncultured.
Have you seen it?
Of course I've seen Squid
Because you're
Game.
not fucking weird though. Get it watched. It's in Korean, you'll not be able to fucking...
I watched a Korean.
I'm shocked you enjoyed that actually.
That's class. Great fun.
Oh, I've heard it's great. I just don't really watch a lot of TV shows.
No, it watches well and E.
What?
I don't just watch Will and E.
Just. But yeah, no. So you've also been back now over for what now? 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Just firstly describe the trip back. I want you to explain how difficult it was to get back here.
So basically, I left my campus, and that was
Explain the cleaning process.
So I had to hire 2 cleaners to help me tidy out the room. It took the 3 of us 10 hours over 2 days to tidy. This wasn't to like tidy up, like mop up the floor and stuff. This was to remove the beer cans.
Why?
Please let me have a photo of this. I really want to see it before
It's
it was
probably
like,
on my old phone. The one I didn't charge.
Why did you need to clean the room? Is that a must?
Yeah, because some new person at some point.
Imagine some poor bastard.
There's just a mountain of beer cans.
Aye, that's fine. That's not your problem anymore. Though.
Yeah, but they also, when I leave the room, they check the room to make sure it's in condition. And if they just opened it and there's a mountain of beer cans and beer bottles.
Just shit decoration.
it's part of my religion.
Aye.
After that got cleaned, I finished cleaning up a bit. My friend from Tajikistan helped me.
That's not a place.
It's Tajikistan.
You made it up. Carry on.
I mean, this man's been as far as Falkirk. I mean, he knows the
I know
world.
my shit.
Helped tidy up the rest of it. We went down, and on my wall there's a lot of drawings of stuff, because my pals, I used to just fall asleep, and my room door was always kind of left ajar so folk could come in, have a drink and leave. And
As you're asleep.
Yeah, and they came in and just wrote all over the walls. So it was like penis. I had a thing called the God of Pedos, which was
The Pope.
It kind of looked a bit like the Pope.
Ah, fair.
And it also says Struan is a faggot on the wall.
Wait, so they just wrote this on biro on the wall.
Yeah. I also said welcome to hell in Russian.
How happy would you be if one of your pals just one day just walked into your room whilst you're asleep and drew a cock on the wall with a biro?
I genuinely wouldn't get fucked, but I mean,
So I didn't
Different
really care
situations.
about all the writing, but I knew they'd probably care, so I went down and I explained to them, like, alright, there's some writing on the wall. And she was
How
like,
much did you have to pay these people, by the way?
only 60p. No, £6. Sorry, £6.
£6 for 10 hours of manual labour.
No, those people. Oh no, I had to pay them loads, like £200 or something.
Alright.
No, I thought you meant the room people, not the cleaning. So I went down. I explained to them there's a bit of writing on the wall, and they sent one of the little women's up, and she went up and checked the room, and she came back down, and they had this list of things
She was
that
crying.
were missing. They didn't even mention the writing on the wall. I was very surprised, but they didn't. And they had this list of things. It was like bed sheets and pillowcases and stuff. And I was like, I gave them to the cleaner like 2 years ago because I didn't need them. I had my own stuff. And the woman was like, what's the cleaner's name? I don't know. She was like, if you don't know the cleaner's name, I can't do anything. And I was giving her bed sheets. I didn't need her life fucking story when I was giving her bed sheets. I was literally just giving her bed sheets because I didn't need them. So they wanted me to pay £46 to replace these bed sheets, which in China, stupid amounts of money. And finally, after arguing for ages and my teacher phoning them, only had to pay £6. So got out of there, got to my house for 3 days just to chill out. And then the day before I leave, my flight from Shanghai gets cancelled because they've locked down the entire city because of COVID. There's probably like 2 COVID cases or something. They'll lock the entire city down. So I travelled down to Hangzhou to see my friend, and I had to get another.
How far are we talking travelling
That was
here?
on a bullet train going 300 kilometres an hour. It took 5 hours. And then from there, I had to.
Can you imagine how happy you'd be travelling on that?
Aye,
Probably better than a
It's
van.
better than
that's only like 220 mile an hour, though, isn't it?
Aye.
That's not
still fast.
Nah,
I mean, anything's better than a van rail, though, to be fair.
Aye.
And then from that
Fuck a
place,
van.
I was there for a few days. My phone broke. I couldn't get access to my tickets. They have these little kind of like codes. There's like a green, yellow, and red for if you've been in like high risk areas. If it's green, you're A-OK. Yellow, they still won't let you do anything. And in red, you're fucked. And mine's turned yellow for some reason, even though I'd not been in any risky areas. So that was fucking awful. Took a 7-hour train, also on a bullet train, to this other place, to get to this airport, to then have to argue my reasoning why I could get my tickets. To get my tickets.
Because you're yellow.
No, because the Shanghai flight got cancelled. At this point, I'd fixed my code. And then I had to take a flight.
Did you just have to buy new tickets then?
No, because the flight was Shanghai to Guangzhou, Guangzhou to Paris, Paris to Edinburgh. So I just had to argue my case for why I should get my tickets from Guangzhou to Paris. And because it might be one.
They say argue your case. Do you literally mean arguing in Chinese?
Yeah.
To this Chinese person.
Yes. That's why I should get my tickets and why it wasn't my
How
fault.
difficult is that on a scale of 1 to 10?
But to argue with a Chinese person. Easy. You just kind of scream in Chinese at them. It's great. I love it. You used to do it in the taxis all the time.
Honestly, there were so many times he phoned me and sit in the back of the taxi and just be talking to me in normal English, and then suddenly look at the taxi driver just shouting, what the fuck, like in Chinese, and I'm just like, what are you saying to
There
this
was
man?
a time I was in a taxi, and it was when my hair was really, really long. And I was sitting, I was pretty drunk, and I was kicking and nodding off a bit. And we arrived, we were getting near my dorm, and the taxi driver tapped my leg, and I was like, just waking me up. And he was like, fucking lost. The guy was like, you won't give me a blowjob? No, I'm not going to fucking... No, what the fuck is wrong with you?
You might have made that a free taxi drive.
Oh no, I just ran out of the taxi. I didn't pay that fucking taxi.
Why do you want to suck him off?
I do. Why don't you just suck off your
I'm
taxi
convinced
driver?
he thought I was a girl because how long my hair was. And I had a mask.
He does not have good taste. I'm sorry. I thought you were a lassie.
You never sucked him off?
No, I did not suck the Chinese taxi driver off. No.
Partial.
Anyway, so you argue with the guy at Guangzhou Airport and get your tickets.
I get my ticket, and then I had to wait like an hour or two. That was fine. Get on the plane, fly all the way to France. 14 hours in Paris airport.
How long was the flight for whatever drove to fucking Paris?
13 hours.
Oh my fucking god.
No, 15. No, it's 15 because I had to wait. No, 13. It was 13. Sorry, it's 13 and then 14 in Paris.
You would have actually fucking murdered a cunt if that was you.
By the time I got on the plane back to Scotland, I could hardly stand. I was absolutely fucking wrecked.
Paris is only like an hour though, isn't it?
Yeah, the Paris to Scotland. I didn't even realise the flight had pretty much ended. I was talking to this guy, and then we were landing. I was like, what the fuck? What?
Aye, Paris is like an hour.
What? But no, it wasn't all bad in Paris. So you said you met someone.
Oh no, I hung out with a Chinese girl who was known in Dublin, and she, because I was hanging out with her, it was so much easier. Because if I'd been on my own for 14 hours, I probably would have killed someone. Unbelievable.
Get a wee finger on the toilet. No? Okay.
No. I was looking for a
Nah, the
taxi
smoking
driver.
area. That's where they done
Yeah,
it.
smoking area.
How bad is like the Chinese birds? Are they dirties? Are they all like?
Did you get preferential treatment as a white man? Is what Jamie's wondering.
No, not nowadays, because there's too many Russians and Slavs there.
So you're out.
Back in the good old days, Matty and Jin didn't have any Russians or Slavs.
So you tell me that they are now the better looking versions of you, and they
Oh
will
yeah,
go for you.
wait, you want to compete with a Scottish person or this big, tall, muscly Russian man? They're not going to go for the Scottish person.
Nah,
The Scottish people they know is me and Cammy. It's not exactly the pinnacle of Scottish male looks.
I mean, they don't know any different. They might not have been there.
It was me, Cammy.
You can say to them,
but was the birds dirty?
Nah, not really.
they're quite reserved over there.
Reasonably, you get some of them that are absolute nut jobs, but they'll only ever go for big muscle man.
Big muscle, like Jamie.
Jamie, you'd be
Would
a
I
king.
slay her there?
You'd be a fucking slaying king.
I'd slay her there, 100%. I slay here. So.
I'm just clapping this. I'm clapping this.
I slay here. So, makes sense.
The whole trip altogether, though, was 41 hours.
That's not that bad, really.
Jamie, you can't travel for 2 hours.
I'm not hearing it. Shut the fuck up, right? That's
How many of those fucking wee tablet things would you have had to have taken over
The
41
tablets
hours?
Wee tablet?
Yeah, it's like travel sickness tablets, but you like fucking hoffs down about a full packet to do a couple hours.
Fuck off. I scudded a full tray of them when I was going to Liverpool. That's no 2 hours. That was 10 hours all round. How about, I was 10 hours going to Liverpool and back, and you're on about 41. You were going across the fucking other side of the world. I'm not having it. 41 hours isn't bad. I was 10 hours going to fucking Liverpool and back. Fuck that.
See what you think about it? Doesn't make sense, does it? That's
No,
a fourth of his journey.
You go to Liverpool fucking 4 times and you're pretty much the same amount of distance. Fuck that. That's pash.
Could you imagine being on a Vanti rail for 40 hours?
I couldn't imagine being on a vanity rail in China going like, because that journey that took 5 hours in the bullet train, that's at least 1,000 miles away, has to be.
Oh yeah, no, it's mad.
Aye, like,
But see, when you still look at it in China, it's basically going from like here to there, and there's still all this below you in China.
aye.
See, so just quickly going back something, you know, you're talking about like how obviously they stop like taking the bins out for you. Would you say China's a naturally clean country?
Oh, no,
as such?
awful. It's disgusting.
Is it really?
See, when we first went to Japan, it was like we living in like
Japan
a
looks tiny
fucking
though.
dump site, and then going into like.
Is it got
doctor's
like a
room.
lot of problem with like vermin and all that?
Oh
there,
yeah,
where you
rats.
lived?
And there was one time I was cooking food, and we had like a communal kitchen per floor. I was cooking food, and there was a little drain on the floor, and this rat or mouse ran over my foot and ran down the drain. And I was like,
Oh no!
"Oh, that's not very good." So I went down to reception. And I was like, "Hey, I was cooking some food, and there was like this mouse or rat there." And the woman looked up, completely serious to me, and went, "Oh yeah, it's rat season," and just started writing again. What the fuck is rat season?
I like how you don't know this at all. You're just like, what do you mean rat season? Just like they're going to take over your block or something like that.
There was also a bunch of cats fucking outside. That was quite often.
Yeah. But Japan's like one of the dream places for everybody to visit, innit? Because it's so like clean and
Really, really nice. Yeah, it's really. The place I was staying was this was years and years ago. Was in it was in Tokyo, but it was not like near the centre of Tokyo. It was quite a lot quieter and smaller. Had loads of bunch of parks and trees and stuff. It was really, really nice.
Is Japan like this fucking mad futuristic place where it's like
When I went, yeah, yes.
They turned on the analog clocks.
It was. I think Korea's probably nowadays more of the big futuristic place where everything's.
south?
No, the north.
The north where there's barely any electricity. Aye. Nah, so been back now about 2 weeks. Finally, starting to acclimatise yourself to good old Scotland again. What's the number one thing in your 2 weeks so far? Because I know you obviously eventually miss like your friends and all that and such. But like, what's the
I
thing?
miss the skyscrapers.
Nah, but like, and also, is there something like immediately when you came back, you're like, fuck, I wish I could have this or I miss that?
Walking in the street having a beer. There's.
Was there no rules against that?
Oh no, you can fucking do that if you want. Sometimes I'd be in the back.
You just can't walk in the streets at the moment.
I'd be in the back. This is before COVID, and I was like, I'm bored. Just crack open a beer, have a beer in the back. You can just have a beer wherever you want. But no, there's something nice about like on a warm night going for a walk, even if it was around my campus, just having a beer and just walking around.
See if like would other people be doing that though? I know you're saying it's legal, but anyone else doing it? Or are you just the only one with a beer?
Well, the old men used to like get a little table out and put it out in the middle of the street and drink baijiu. So it's the stuff that tastes more like kerosene than sake.
Right.
And they play cards or a game called Mahjong.
Would you join them with your tenants? Just sitting down like, hi there.
I actually found tenants in China once.
My
God. Pal found Bucky the other day.
That's quite impressive, eh?
I don't know where he found Bucky. Just
was it tenants?
A fridge and 2 bottles of Bucky.
Was it tenants on draft though? That would be.
I did not find tenants on draft. They don't really have draft a lot in China.
Terrible country, awful place.
I think the only drafts I came across was a Stella and a Guinness. Which are not a bad choice, but
which is a very bad choice.
What's wrong with Guinness?
Everything wrong with Guinness.
Oh yeah.
Guinness. I mean, he wasn't even going for that.
And that, but primarily Guinness is fucking barking.
It's fine. You can say he said much worse on the podcast.
No, but I don't want to step outside and get shanked by one of your kind.
Trust me, I've been waiting for them to get Jamie all these years. He's too elusive.
Smelly bastard.
Yeah, no, Guinness is fucking
Guinness
awful.
is shit, man. It's like fucking...
You know what I love beer.
Stella then? What's wrong with Stella?
I never said nothing about Stella.
I said they had Stella and Guinness, and you went, oh, there's all.
I said the last one is a terrible choice.
Okay, right, sorry.
Guinness is fucking high.
Oh, it's fucking like coffee with froth at the top. It's fucking bogging. Swank it out. And did you?
So, you've also been back now for 2 weeks. I know we've had a few conversations on Wechat about how desperate you were to come back when you're back. Has it so far lived up to expectations being in sunny Struan?
Obviously, you've been here 2 weeks and you see me already.
It's great being back. It's obviously like the longer I'm away, there's more things that kind of pop up. Like, I kind of miss being able to do that, or I kind of miss that food.
Really? Because the last hour and a half I've been talking to you, I'm surprised there's anything about China you've missed.
Well, it's normal. I've definitely got the majority of things I'm remembering are just the bad things that have happened. But there's like great food that you can get for really like cheap prices, and then.
But you can't eat a Scotch pie.
True.
So is there any
what food are you talking about? Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, they have really good. They've got a soup called malatan, which is like, you know what hot pot is?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like hot pot, but for an individual person. You can get that with like duck blood and intestine and noodles, and great. I love it.
Jerry's face could be
like a bowl of fucking tomato soup. No, Heinz. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, there was a Turkish place that had a banging bowl of tomato soup.
No, do you know what I mean?
It was a good burger as well.
What country then do you think makes the best food in the world?
Thailand. Oh, 100% Thailand. They've got a soup called like.
So it could be made by a guy with a pussy or a. Yeah, so you gotta realise what I trust
it's spicy and full of seafood. I don't care if some guy is pissed in it. Tastes
I would care a lot. I thought you were going to say if a guy made it or not. I could not care less if a guy made it. If someone's pissed in it.
If you fucking try this soup, you'd fucking love it.
If someone's pissed in it, I'm no better
seafood?
than it is. 50-50.
There's a shite music and a guy that would appreciate it. What seafood was in it?
Prawns, crawfish. Something. It wasn't mussels, but it's one of those mollusk kind of ones.
You've got me hooked already, I must admit. I love seafood.
Seafood's great. I'm a sucker for seafood. The other day we got a chippy and I had a jar of mussels, and William's like,
It was because it was literally it was like a jar about that big, and I'd say 90% of it was just bright water, and it
Aye.
looked fucking
Did you
vile.
drink the water?
I drank some of the water.
After
and
I
then Liam's
spilt it
like,
on him at
Oh, I
first.
spilled. I opened the jar and it just went.
I don't know how you didn't expect it. It was literally filled right to the rim. You're just
What
there
about,
like.
what about
"Ugh."
sushi? You a sucker for sushi?
I enjoy sushi, but I think I really like spicy stuff. So sushi, I always find a bit bland. I know there's wasabi, but I think it's kind of a different spice. If somebody had sushi, I'd eat sushi. I wouldn't be against it. I do enjoy it. I wouldn't put it in my top kind of fish dishes.
So now that you're back, what do you hope to do for the future?
Get a job.
It's a good start. Hey, you're looking
Um,
for folk, aren't you? New manager.
No.
There you go. Good job, manager.
No, we're not. We're fully staffed.
I think it's just really get an idea of what the hell I'm doing, because it's the first time in like 7 years I've not had like an immediate plan or an immediate goal ahead of me. So
Are you going to try and use your Chinese?
I wouldn't mind using it, but I don't want to do like a teaching job or something.
I was going to say, you
I hate kids.
could do
Kids
tutoring. Could tutor for just adults. Night
I've
school. Night school.
Have
you
you
could
ever
do.
you ever just gave a burst of Chinese while you've been here, just for the fucking fun of it?
What?
Like, have you ever just like, since you've been back, have you ever just walked in a shop and just accidentally spoke Chinese? Because that would be fucking great. Imagine just walking into like a random Tesco's and then just hitting it with some Chinese shit.
Oh no! I did it a lot in Paris airport. No, I don't think I've done it when I've been here.
Are you able to say this is the Sitting and Chatting podcast, the greatest podcast in the world in Chinese?
This is the sitting and chatting pod. That would be like
For someone
Zhou
translating.
Holiao. I don't know what podcast is.
We'll just say podcast, that's fine, we'll get the gist of it.
It'd probably be something along the lines of 这是 Zhou Holiao 的 podcast. 在世界上最好的 podcast.
I feel like
If I knew what podcast was,
Yeah.
it would be.
I
Sorry.
feel like the actual Chinese language is fucking bizarre.
Oh no, it's a stupid way of doing a language.
He says after learning it for 4 years.
But they do, like, they've only got like a certain amount of kind of words, and then they just add tones to it.
Aye.
It's awful.
It's all
the
that. It's all that.
dumbest
See when
way
you
of doing
speak, it's
a
all
language.
that. It's all of that shit, and I'm like, the fuck? Because
It's
not
all
to be
snakes.
racist, but it sounds very much all the same. Like, it's all
Oh no,
similar.
it's
It's the same like see when you watch Squid Game. Like I never watched it with I watched it with dubbed first.
Oh, did you? I watched it with subtitles.
So I watched it subtitles second. So I watched it dubbed then subtitles. See hearing them speak their actual language is fucked, man. Like, it's such.
I'll be honest, I can't drive now just cause you know what I'm like with my dyslexia. I literally had to like fucking stare at what they were saying the entire. I'm
pausing
barely.
every single
I was,
second.
I was barely
You know,
watching I was barely looking at the screen half the time. I was just reading the fucking text.
That's why I watched it. Oh well, that's why I watched it dubbed first because I was like I didn't want to miss.
The only reason I didn't watch it dubbed because I'd normally watch things dubbed is because I heard apparently it was fucking awful.
I didn't think it was that bad. I think it was pretty funny actually. The dubbed because it was like they had like, you know, when somebody comes up to do the line, you expect them to have like a maybe deep voice, and it's just like a wee squeaky guy for like this big fucking butch cunt. It's like
That's why you didn't enjoy Tintin. In Tintin, there's plenty of like these big fucking huge muscly men with mustache and like.
Yeah, that's yeah.
See like the main bad guy in Squid Game, like
Yeah.
The squid.
Yeah.
well, aye. So
It's just
like
a
his
fact.
voice matched his character perfectly in the dub,
Yeah.
but see the lassie that he was pumping
It
didn't he? It was just so fucking funny. But,
I do want to kind of just hear clips from it now. Just to
it's
see
funny
what
as fuck, man.
difference
Honestly, it's so stupid.
is.
Bye.
Right, have we got anything else we want to
You need to watch Squid Game.
I know. I will.
That's my last request.
I actually do need to watch something anyway. I've watched everything else.
Okay, so we're now at that point at the end of the show, and for the first time this year, we can finally do quick fire, the good old game which Jamie will now explain.
It's been that long, Liam. I think I forgot.
Have you? You better remember fast. Then.
I think you should do it.
Nah, Bagsy no.
Alright. So it's a game called Hot Seat. You've done it before. You did it again.
I do have one question though. Does my time then get changed, or do I just get put down again? So
If
you
you
can
beat
see
it,
my
you
improvement.
Nah, you didn't. It doesn't get changed.
If you right, explain the rules, and we'll go for that.
Liam, you're going to be given a letter from the alphabet, right? Now, with this letter, which you can re-roll only once, but if you choose the letter, from, let's say it's S for example, Liam will then read out 10 topics, right, to which you have to reply something relating to that topic with the letter you've been given. So, you know, if it says bathroom items, you could say a shower head, shower gel. You get what I'm saying?
A douche.
Countries in Europe, you could say Spain, you know,
He's very good at this part of the podcast.
as well as if Liam was to also say colours, you would then struggle. Well, you could maybe say Sierra blue, and would maybe
Sky
let it
blue.
go. No, Sierra blue, and we would maybe let it go, right? But the idea is to get as many right and as quick as possible. Now, if you do get one wrong, it adds 5 seconds to your time. Liam will be the decider of whether it's right or not. If you do struggle, you can also say pass, but it will also add time on to your total. Yes. Are you ready, Liam? 'Cause I'm so ready.
If as well you get more than 5 wrong, you pass on 5, so DNF. Never had one yet, still to this day. And I know the viewers can't see the board, but you know we've had it here.
Don't worry,
for
Duncan's the worst.
Yeah, it's the worst. By quite a distance, actually, quite the worst.
Boris Johnson did pretty bad too.
Yeah, good old Boris. So yeah, just to give a bit of clarity, so Ewan's still sitting at the top with 27 seconds and 10 correct. Struan, when he was last on about 80 odd episodes ago, done it in a 1:30 made it correct. And the slowest ever time is Duncan on 2 minutes and 8.
There's no danger anybody ever beats you in Mackenzie, but you know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Struan, are you ready?
Aye, why not?
Struan, your letter is A. Would you like to stick with A or would you like to re-roll?
That's A for apple.
Ah, shit, I didn't know.
That's one already you've given them.
That's one if it says fruits.
Reroll.
What's your thoughts on that? I would have stuck.
No, that's a great idea. Oh, you've been
Okay.
given a fucking screamer. That's a belter word.
Okay.
Alright.
You don't have a choice.
I know. I'm just trying to think.
Are you ready?
Here's one right, so see if it comes up cars. Kia. Good, sorry.
3, 2, 1. Things are around. Creepy crawlies.
Cat. No, it starts with a C.
Things that excite you.
Cocaine. That starts with a C as well.
Things found on a desk.
Oh, I can think of words that start with C. Pass.
Animal noises.
Cacaw.
Cartoon characters.
Pass.
Crusty crab, man. Fuck me.
Words associated
You
with
said a
winter.
crusty crab. That's not good. Sorry.
Words associated with winter.
I just keep thinking words with C.
Just keep passing. DNF it, man.
Just fucking DNF and
It's already DNF.
I wouldn't even let me. Right,
It's already
okay.
DNF. You already got 5 wrong.
Right, okay. That was
That was fucking
embarrassing.
Does that
Struan.
replace my old school?
No,
I
but
want to
it's-
say.
But Struan, I will warn you, if your next performance happens again, I'll let you go one more time. If you DNF, no, you get given a second go. We are kind on the Sitting and Chatting podcast, but if you fuck this up, you're getting a DNF, and we will put you on the board as the first ever DNF.
I bet you if I got C, I'd be sorry. All I can think is words that start
Right.
with C.
Well, let's see if you get a C. Your letter is O. Would you like to stick with O or would you like a reroll? Hint, I'd probably reroll.
Reroll, yeah.
Please don't be K again. M.
Honestly, I'd do wonders with him.
Right. Think anything that begins with M.
Aye.
Not N. M.
Things that you're addicted to. Mothers. Like, honestly. You've got this.
Masturbate.
Mm.
Miraculous.
Oh, good, very true.
Maroon. Maserati. Get these in your ear.
Yeah, right. You ready? Remember, 5 and it's a DNF, so don't pass 5 times when you get 5 wrong.
I'm
Okay.
not.
3, 2, 1. Common surnames.
McEwen.
Yep. School subjects.
Maths.
Reasons to call emergency services.
Masturbation.
Things found in a desk.
Money.
An embarrassing moment.
Pass.
Crimes.
Murder.
Things you shouldn't touch.
Masturbation.
Items in this room.
Money.
Things to do on a date.
Masturbation.
I'm not alone. Another time. Reasons to be a phone call.
Mum.
Okay. It's an improvement.
Yeah, you didn't say any rule about how many times I could say masturbation.
We're not letting you, so you can say it for every fucking time, right?
Things to do on a date, masturbation. I think that is a fantastic answer.
You flew through it, I'll give you credit. If you hadn't have said masturbate 3
Reasons
times.
to call the fucking emergency services. You could have said murder,
Yeah.
and you chose to say masturbation, which then meant you used it too many times.
I mean, you didn't say there was a rule about you can't
Well,
use
think about it
You've been on this
logistically.
before,
we're
you
not-
fucking idiot. You should know better.
Right.
That's
Struan.
probably better than my last one, I guess.
It was better than your last one, you think. Okay, now,
Maybe not by much.
Struan. You got 8 correct to start with, okay? A big improvement on the previous one. Now, who would you like to be on this board? Who would you be happy with?
I'd be extremely happy with Cammy, but I know I've not bet Cammy. So
Where's Cammy sitting?
yeah, he's too good. I know I've not bet Cammy.
105 with 9
So-
correct is what he's currently
No.
hoping to beat.
That's what I very much dreamed to, but I know I'm not going to. So I guess I'd like to beat Menzies.
You'd like to beat Menzies. Well,
I know I haven't.
You bet Menzies.
Struan.
Then I'll tell you that. You bet Menzies.
You bet Menzies.
I bet Menzies.
Now, Struan. With a time of 1 minute. Exactly. And 8 correct. You're beating Cammy.
Ah, fucking beat Cammy! Woohoo!
Well done. You are now just slightly below Ben Gilmore, which I think is a dream for you.
It's the cousins back together. You know, as soon as this podcast is over, I'm going to phone Cammy and boast.
Glad you're not paying anyway. But, yeah, no, honestly.
Imagine being related to Ben Gilmore.
I know, it's a sad life.
That is
Isn't it?
so unfortunate.
Better than being related to...
No, it's not Fergus, a great man.
Right, on that note, Struan, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you giving us more insight into
Thanks for
China.
having me on again.
I don't. But
I appreciate it.
Jamie never
Yeah,
appreciates
nah,
me.
I just appreciate anything.
you're here, so I mean, that's what it is. Isn't it?
Right, until next time then, I've been Liam Whyte.
I've been Jamie Allan.
I've been Struan Laing.
I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
We talk football and current events, sitting and chatting with the very best guests. We're 2 Scottish boys and we're loving it. So if you like witty banter, check the former #1 podcast on iTunes. Sitting and chatting.